So can you tell me, when you look at, and then the statistics have shown, Commissioner, that the contraband has dramatically increased, from 3,500 in 2015 to just 2 years later, over 4,000 issues, items of contraband. So why is there a reluctance or an inability to address and resolve these issues? Because these are serious problems within the system, obviously.
Well, Senator, there is definitely a huge impetus to address them head on. And I can list so many things that we've already done. But the number one thing I've done is create a comprehensive task force that just met this past Friday that will include representatives from central office. It'll be co-chaired by my executive deputy commissioner and my deputy commissioner for correctional facilities. They'll have representation by 4 superintendents, 2 from maximum security facilities, 2 for medium. And more importantly, it will have 2 members each from each of the bargaining units, Council 82, NYSCOBA, PEF, and CSEA. And they are tasked with examining what is potentially driving the violence and what are all the constructive things that we can do as a system. This is not just check the box. This is really a commitment by everybody to participate on an ongoing basis. The first meeting this past Friday, I think, came close to 4 years, 4 hours, I'm sorry. And it included detailed analysis that we presented and explained to all of the different participants, all the different analysis of assaults, where they were, facility by facility, all the things that we have done to date to help to try and stem violence and contraband, including de-escalation training, pepper spray, millions of dollars invested in fixed cameras, body cameras, a willingness to work separately with the union on another appropriation to bring in potentially a vendor for training. Looking at technologies, some we've tried and some didn't produce promising results, but we keep trying with mail. Expansion of the K9 units that we've done. We invested a lot of money into that. But again, the most important thing is that this is going to be a dynamic process where everybody is going to commit to working together, rank and file, management, superintendents, facilities, central office, to examine this problem thoroughly and see what we can do. And incidentally, it is a problem nationwide. I belong to an association with every other corrections commissioner. They're all seeing this. Driven in part, I suspect, by a lot of the things that are happening in society at large. There's a lot of negative indicators, from increases in driving fatalities and suicide and opioid overdoses. Those stresses do bleed into the system as well. So we're looking at everything, and we definitely can only operate everything we want to do if people fundamentally feel safe.
The Commissioner, you have a number of ideas that have been presented to you already that you could be considering and implementing. So first of all, like for contraband, what about the secure vendor? What is the hesitancy to try to look and implement a program like that that has been advanced? And don't you believe there's a sense of urgency? I mean, I welcome the fact that you're having this all-inclusive kind of review and examination, but you have had these statistics and you've had these incidents taking place at these facilities. You're talking about people under your employment who are being savagely beaten right now. There's no time to wait for studies for this. Don't you believe we have to take some action now?
Senator, we're taking action now, and there is immediacy to this. And specifically on that issue, it's not simply turn the switch on or off. It's a matter of coming up with concrete recommendations on our directives, on our policies, so that when we implement it, it is done in a way that it will be accepted across the broad sphere. So it is a nuanced issue, and I'm committed to it. And the task force is looking at that, and we've asked each member to come back with their recommendations on it.
Commissioner, when you look at some of the changes in the closure of some of these facilities, what's your personal opinion? Do you believe that we're moving in the right direction to close these facilities? And you still have double bunking, which, if you look at this strategically, maybe you could be undertaking initiatives and measures that could prevent some of this activity that you're talking about. But where are you on the closure process when you continue to double bunk and things of that nature?
Senator, first of all, we don't double bunk anymore. We've taken down all of the double bunks in the system. Second of all, the hardest decision I have had to is to call up a superintendent and tell him or her that his correctional facility is closing. It's an extremely difficult decision. These are real people. These are their jobs. These are their families. These are the relationships in the communities. We do not take that decision lightly. The fact is that we are at the lowest level since 1983. We've had all of the expansion since 1983. We've added all the cookie cutter facilities. We used to have 90 inmates to double bunk in dorms when we were overcrowded. Now we were at 1983 levels. One time we were the third largest prison system in the country. Only Texas and California exceeded us. Now we're behind Georgia, we're behind Pennsylvania, we're behind Ohio, and several others. So that is like a peace study, right? The crime rates have plummeted. The prison population has gone down. We've had to adjust to have a system that is commensurate with the demand for prison capacity. 30,500 is our number right now, from an all-time high of 72,773.
So Commissioner, finally, my last question is, how would you personally assess and give your perspective of morale of the department right now? And how has that affected recruitment and retention ultimately also?
So, Senator, let me say that one of my immediate priorities is to get better direct communication with the rank and file, because they don't know a lot of the things that we've already done. Every time I've made inquiries, when I've sent people around to have like town hall meetings, they don't know a lot of the things that we're doing. And I made it a priority to expend significant monies to have equipment so that we can better communicate directly during lineup, so they can hear from me, so they can hear from my executive deputy commissioner. I've also tasked him and the deputy commissioner for correctional facilities to engage directly with the rank and file to have town hall meetings and A, explain to them everything that we're doing, B, listen to them, listen to their feedback, because I think the rank and file have a lot of good things to say. And the third thing I always preach is servant leadership. And if, as you know, with servant leadership, first and foremost, the rank and file, you put them in positions to succeed. You care for them, you care for their welfare, you want safety, you want them to lead fulfilling lives. So that is my priority going forward, to better communicate with them.
So Commissioner, though, how would you assess morale right now? Would you say it's good? Was it poor? I mean, what's your opinion right now?
It's hard, it's hard for me to make that assessment without doing an official survey of all staff.
And how is your recruitment and retention levels right now?
The rate of attrition, I don't think it's any different from any normal times. I think morale obviously suffers when you're doing things like closures. I think morale suffers when you have COVID-19 and you got to come to work. I think morale suffers when you have uncertainty about new laws that are coming into effect. So I think there's a lot to be considered, but we did have 5,000 individuals sign up to take the correction officer exam. So I am very much about doing as best a job as we can, public relations wise, to let people know the benefits of the job, the positive aspects of the job, and that we're always trying to get better at what we do to ensure a safe environment for everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate your time.